studio now, and we're going to be turning our attention to one major issue, which is youth development in the country. Now, Ghana has a youth population with between 33.3% of the population being between the ages of 15 and 35. This segment of the population is confronted with numerous challenges such as low education and skills, unemployment, vulnerability to diseases, susceptible to also engage in conflicts and other criminal activities, not forgetting drug abuse. One of the critical components of an enabling environment for youth development is a legal framework that exists to guide various stakeholders, including the youth themselves, to facilitate effective and efficient youth development. Now, the National Youth Scheme Bill is currently being considered in Parliament, and some civil groups are saying that the bill does not reflect the aspirations of the youth of this country. And I would want to consider and look into that particular issue, and we've been joined in studio by Samuel Kingsford Segla. He is Program Officer for Youth Network for Human Rights and Democracy. We're going to be exploring the issues. They have some concerns. We'll look into that shortly. Good afternoon, Sami, and thank you for joining us. To start with, you have mentioned that you have looked through the current youth bill, which is before Parliament, and have spotted some key concerns. Can you let us understand what these concerns are?
Okay, thank you, Martin. To start with, the current youth law in Ghana came into being in 1974. The National Youth Council Act 1974, NRC Decree 241, which established the National Youth Council. And it has been in operation for over 4 decades. Okay. Now, considering the radical changes in Ghana's demography, coupled with the challenges that the young people face today, you agree with me that the law that cannot certainly address the challenges facing the young people in this age. Recently, the name was changed from National Youth Council to National Youth Authority, but there was no change in their mandate. Now, the current bill before Parliament focuses on establishing the agency National Youth Authority. Now, our problem with the bill is that it does not address the challenges facing the young people of Ghana. One, if you take the 1992 Constitution, it does not address issues concerning young people. In fact, the Constitutional Review Commission noted in its report that the 1992 Constitution does not address the challenges of the youth in text. There's no mention of the word youth in the 1992 Constitution.
Okay.
So when government announced in the 2010 budget statement that they were going to present a bill to cabinet and for onward submission to Parliament for approval, we saw it as an opportunity to come up with a comprehensive national youth law that addresses the challenges facing the young people of Ghana. But the current bill before Parliament, we met Parliament last week, the Committee on Culture, Youth and Sports.
Okay.
And looking at the bill, it focuses once again on establishing the agency, but it does not even define who a youth is.
Could it not be that they are working with a universally accepted range or definition of a youth? Because you know the United has a definition of who a youth is. So is it that because there isn't that clear definition in the bill, you think that there's cause for concern there?
The UN definition of youth is 15 to 24 years. The African Youth Charter defines youth as 15 to 35. In our national youth policy, it recognizes the definition of the African Youth Charter. But the youth policy has no legal backing. Now that we are thinking about coming up with a national youth law, these are the issues that should be addressed, because in the Constitution of Ghana, these provisions are not there. Again, when we talk about youth, a bill addressing the challenges of the youth, the bill does not recognize or address the rights and responsibilities of the young people of Ghana. It is only focusing on creating an institution to coordinate youth activities, but the youth themselves and the challenges they face are not addressed in the law.
Okay. So, finally and briefly, what are the key things you are seeking to draw attention to?
Okay. We submitted a 45-page document to the committee in Parliament, and they are currently looking at that. Okay. Basically, we want the government to revise the bill. Now, the bill should define in clear terms who a youth is, the rights and responsibilities of the youth, challenges. When we come to participation in decision making, the bill is silent on that.
On that, okay.
Now, another issue is the fragmentation of youth development programs in Ghana. You can talk about Youth Employment Agency, Youth in Agric, YES, and other programs. And then we have the National Youth Authority as well. Now, if we're able to address this fragmentation, where all these agencies will be under one coordinating agency, at the end of every year, we can have a comprehensive report on youth development in Ghana. It will help for the purpose of policy and programming in the country. But the current bill is silent on all this.
All right. Thank you very much, Samuel Segla. He is Program Officer for the Youth Network for Human Rights and Democracy. And they are raising concerns about the youth bill. A review of some of the key highlights in there. Thank you very much for your time.